You're identifying problems that potentially happened on a campus of a massive state school system.
I think to try to downplay what happened out there is a mistake.
Why?
I will tell you, as a Jewish American, I have been so sick of every single time that there's been hate against Jewish folks that all of a sudden, well, the hate against other minorities is just as bad and we should elevate that as well. I'm not saying that we shouldn't talk about it, but sometimes it is okay just to talk about anti-Semitism.
It is okay to talk about it,
but
it's not.
Whatever happened to states' rights and, you know, allowing states to handle their internal affairs and not have the federal government just
states' rights.
Stick the hand in there and say, we're going to take all your money away. That, by the way, you as taxpayers paid for.
In this case, states' rights would mean, I guess, allowing UCLA to continue to operate Jew exclusion zones on their campus. We called it alleged anti-Semitism. This has been one of the worst places in the country on college campuses for the mistreatment and terrorism of Jewish students. That's number one.
Why doesn't he just address that?
He is addressing that.
No, I mean, meaning like actually deal with the school and address those problems of anti-Semitism. Why is the threat expanding and metastasizing to the entire state?
Well, I mean, this is the state school system. So, I mean, he's making it known that the state of California has not done.
That actually is even more to the point. It's a state school system. You're identifying problems that potentially happened on a campus of a massive state school system.
I think to try to downplay what happened out there is a mistake.
Why is Trump sort of taking a sledgehammer to something that is like a tiny little thing that he needs to just address in a concerted way?
I do not agree that what happened on the campuses is a tiny little thing. And I think to get people's attention,
a targeted approach to the issue that you are identifying.
This is an approach to the issue. It is targeted. It's targeted at the state that allowed it. And regarding the other issue with the transgender athletes, the president signed an executive order on this. The administration has a legal point of view about it. And they told states, if you permit this punishment of girls who are trying to play their sports, we're going to come after you. So they were warned. They chose to move forward with it anyway. Even the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, has expressed some, misgivings about having transgender athletes in these competitions, but he wouldn't step in and do anything about it. So I think the state of California, for a lot of reasons, deserves what they're getting today, and hopefully it leads to some behavior modification.
How do you, as the president, target an entire state because you disagree with two things that happened there? That makes no sense to me, and I don't think it should make sense to any of us.
It's because anti-Semitism should not be condoned.
Why is anti-Semitism the only prejudice that matters? Why does it feel like that?
It's not. But the intent.
It does.
I'll tell you. Hold on one second.
Go for it.
Here. I got to tell you, I'm a Jewish American. I've been so my entire life. I'm not exactly the most religious guy in the world.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, as a Jewish American, I have been so sick of every single time that there's been hate against Jewish folks that all of a sudden, well, the hate against other minorities is just as bad and we should elevate that as well. I'm not saying that we shouldn't talk about it, but sometimes it is okay just to talk about anti-Semitism.
It is okay to talk about it,
but
it's not okay to target an entire state and say that the only thing that we're targeting you for is anti-Semitism and what happened with a transgender athlete. I think that there are other forms of prejudice that matter. I think that there are other forms of racism that matter.
Certainly.
I think that there are other things that matter, and it feels like everything is kind of centered on. In fact, the Trump administration feels like they're weaponizing anti-Semitism in a way against those who disagree with it.
I'll just finish quickly. I would just say, I just think it is nice that we're really actually focusing on anti-Semitism for a change in this country and talking about that we do have a real issue and that there is real Jewish hate on the rise and we all need to address it.
I think we do, but we have to address anti-black racism too.
In the context
we have to address
of this
anti-LGBTQ too.
conversation.